What's going on, guys? Brother Russia here, back with another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And today we're going to be talking about the rainbowed physical LR DOKKANFEST Omega Shenron. So we do have this man, of course, fully rainbowed out. We've got his equips on him, full length level 10. So this is the build that I ended up going with. Mainly went with a dodge build. Now, the only reason I did that is this guy's mainly like a support unit. He does really good damage still, but his main purpose of like his whole passive and everything is this man is a straight up just support unit for extreme class units. So, you know, just having the dodge on him, I think will help, even though he doesn't really need it, but he doesn't need crit and he doesn't really need much additional either, because, you know, his 12 key super, he raises defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage, greatly lowers attack and defense. And then his 18 key, he greatly raises defense for 4 turns, it causes mega colossal damage to all enemies and disables enemies' actions once. Now, the thing is with him doing that, he's not raising his attack at all. So there's no point in really like doing a bunch of additional supers to, you know, build up attack, because he doesn't do it. Defense, yeah, but I mean, this guy, we'll talk about what he does and you'll understand why. But with him being a Dokkanfest unit, he is Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, GT Bosses, Key 3, 200% HP, 170% attack and defense, and he gives the extra 50% to Shadow Dragon Saga, Worldwide Chaos, or Battle of Fate. Now, I've seen a lot of people kind of upset about this. I personally think Battle of Fate probably should have been one of his main leader skills instead of like Power Absorption, maybe. I mean, he could have like GT Bosses and Shadow Dragon, they could have just been like the sub lead. Yeah, I feel like they definitely could have gave him a little bit of a better leader skill. But you know what, he'll be okay for, you know, what he is. Talking about his passive though, so he has an entrance animation when all allies are extreme class. Super easy to do. He gives extreme class allies a chance to perform a crit up 20%, randomly changes tech or AGL key spheres to rainbow for 1 turn, and he also launches an additional super, and extreme class allies get 2 key and 70% attack for 4 turns. So for 4 turns, he's a attack support unit. Now his basic effects gets 3 key, 300% attack and defense, gets 1 key per key sphere obtained, or plus 1 key per key sphere obtained, 50% damage reduction, and he randomly changes physical or int key spheres to rainbow. So he's like a double rainbow orb changer. When he gets 1 rainbow key sphere, he gives extreme class allies 70% defense, and he also gives 10% damage reduction to characters who belong to GT bosses for 2 turns. Now, 10% damage reduction isn't a lot, but when you start factoring in units like, say, AGL Omega, who gets 5% damage reduction per GT bosses category, you know, the character on the team, so that can give you 35% right there. And then on top of that, you also can get 7% damage reduction per rainbow key sphere that you get. And you get 5 of them, that's another 35%. So he's a 70%. And you got 2 of these Omegas, you know, you got 2 of these Omegas, you give them 1 rainbow apiece. Now this AGL Omega is sitting at 90% damage reduction. And then think about it, you got other units like AGL Super 17, you got, you know, Tech Super 17, like these guys that get damage reduction, you know, you're just boosting that damage reduction up even more. Man, GT bosses needs a lot of help. They need a lot of help. But I feel like with the proper units, they can be this can be a very, very good team. He gets 150% attack when 18 or more key. He gets 150% attack when attacking and 150% defense when receiving an attack. Anything with 24 key performs a crit. When it receives an unarmed super attack, he has a great chance of nullifying and countering. And if your HP is 70% or less, it's guaranteed. And then after performing 5 or more attacks in battle, so unlike Gogeta, who needs to get hit, you know, 3 times and then 7 times, this guy just has to perform 5 supers. Or sorry, 5 attacks. It doesn't have to be supers, just 5 attacks. Gives extreme class allies 2 ki and a chance to perform a crit up 20%. That's permanent. And then he randomly changes tech or AGL key spheres to rainbow starting from the character's next attacking turn. So he's a double rainbow orb changer after performing 5 or more attacks. Now, that could be a little bit of a problem if you got 2 Omegas doing that constantly and you just have a bunch of rainbow orbs everywhere. That can be a little bit of an annoyance, but if you have units that can utilize the rainbow orbs, I think you'll be in good hands. And then he does have an active skill, which is his domain. Can be activated when there's another Inhuman D's, Power Absorption, or GT boss category ally attack in the same turn, or after the character performs 5 or more super attacks. It creates the domain for 3 turns, and that domain gives Inhuman Deeds, Power Absorption, or GT bosses, the 3 categories he leads. Enemies and allies get 25% attack, and then increase damage received by superclass enemies and allies by 20%, plus an additional 10% for those who belong to Earth Protecting Heroes, Fuse Fighter, or GT Heroes. So you can definitely do a bunch of damage with the domain up, especially to superclass units. But I think what we're going to do is so what I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by Omega. Essentially what we're going to be doing here is I want to see what kind of damage Omega can do, but also know that his main shtick is him being a support unit. So, we'll put Rose up front. When Rose does an 18 key super, he gives 60% attack buff. So we'll make sure that we get the attack buff going. Let's go ahead and pop this. Okay, so now we have the domain going. So now everybody's getting an extra 25% attack. Now, granted, this is also buffing the enemy because the enemy is on Inhuman D's as well. So they are also getting the attack buff. So right now we got 5 out of 7 links active, sitting at 452k defense. We get this. We pick up these rainbow orbs right here, and again, we're giving 70% defense to allies, to extreme class allies, and then an extra 10% damage reduction to GT bosses units. So like Baby at the end here, he's getting an extra 10% damage reduction just because of the fact that he's getting that support from Omega. Now, we are also giving an extra 70% attack to the whole rotation for 1 turn. For 4 turns, because of his entrance animation. Okay, sorry, Rose. I just wanted to have a little fun. Jesus, my bad. And then, okay, so same thing here. Let's do this. We'll put Rose up front. So Rose is getting an extra 70% defense. He's getting 70% attack. He's got 10%, or I'm sorry, he's getting the 70% from the previous Omega Shenron because we got 1 rainbow orb. He's going to get that same treatment right here because we're picking up another rainbow orb. So now he's going to have 140% defense. So we're at what, 413k for him, and this is not even like built up either, because obviously he needs to get hit to get built up. So, you know, it's going to take a few hits for him, but I mean, we'll see what the numbers are looking like after he's actually like fully built up. I think the other thing I'm going to do is I may throw the STR Rose off the other rotation, so I can get him on rotation with my Omega. Yeah, this Rose is going to build up defense quick. 76 million. I'd say 76 million is a pretty good attack stat. I forgot that he AoEs. So this might be a little bit more of like a difficult showcase because I forgot that he AoEs instead. Yeah, 59 million out of this guy. Oh, I forgot to target. Yeah, it's fine. I forgot to target the other guy anyway, so. Okay. Let's do this. Again, we're giving extra support everywhere. I think that we should be okay here with like Boo. But I mean, we did see a 76 million attack stat. That's a pretty solid attack stat out of this guy. You know, and then he does have like the, you know, like the additional that he can do, 2 additionals. So yeah, he can have pretty good attack stats. He's a support unit that can do really good damage. Now, maybe under like special conditions. Okay, maybe bringing that Poo is not the move. It's fine. Let me hop back in. Let me take him off the team and run it with somebody else real quick. So I do want to include that a little bit in this video, by the way. You could see the significant change in how much damage the STR Rose did compared to what he did with Omega on rotation. With Omega on rotation, with his active or with his entrance animation up and then the domain up, he was hitting for, what was it? It was like a 7 or 51 million attack stat, whereas right there he was like right around 39 million, and that's with like the other Rose on rotation with them. So needless to say, this Omega is 100% a phenomenal support unit. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are not going to be like, obviously not like as excited for this Omega. And I understand why. You know, it's because a lot of people want to see, you know, they would rather see the big damage numbers coming from like Gogeta instead. But this unit is exactly what Extreme Class needed. Like, Extreme Class units have been needing a extreme support unit for so long. Had they had just did that with AGL Carnival Omega, that would have been better. But no, they had to do it with GT bosses and this and this. Like, it's so dumb when they do it that way. They need to just do straight up extreme support units like this Omega, and Extreme Class can become a very, very good viable team. But I will say that yes, This Omega, I have been having a lot of fun with him because of, you know, his like support and everything like that. Granted, apparently these units can't stay alive long enough because they seem to just be wanting to die, is what it looks like. I'm just trying to get, you know, some bigger numbers coming from these units, and I can't seem to do that. Like impossible. Here, I'll do this. I won't pop the domain. How about that? Won't pop the domain until I get the Rosé on rotation with my Omega. Maybe we'll just do that. Maybe that'll help us. So then that way they're not doing like too much damage to the other units. Granted, I mean, they do hit super for a pretty decent amount anyway. So if, you know, if we do get hit by a good super, it could kill us. But, you know, it kind of is what it is. He's still a good support unit, I will say that. It's just the units themselves sometimes just... What can you do? You know, we're using a super easy A unit from, what, 6 months ago? And the game has drastically changed in that 6 months as well, so... the game is just always constantly evolving. Yeah, you know what? We'll just leave it like this. Yeah, we'll just give you that. Give you the nice little support. 700k defense. We got 6 out of 7 links active. So that's not... It's not bad, I would say. 6 out of 7 links is good. Dude, for a free-to-play unit, this guy's dropping a 47 million to 50 million attack stat. And that's crazy. Because back in my day, we never had free-to-play units that were this good. Now these free-to-play units are dropping almost as high of an attack stat as like what these premium units are doing. So you can kind of think about that. Like, that's craziness. Yeah, with this guy like double supering right, or triple supering right there, no matter what, he could get hit with a like a nuke right now and he'd be solid. Yeah, I will say I really do like Omega. I just wish his actual team for like GT bosses just had better units. I mean, Inhuman Deeds has a great set of units right now. You know, especially coming from he's probably gonna die too, huh? No, he's fine. Okay. But they have like really good units that we just got specifically from the whole like part 1 celebration. And, you know, and we got those out of the rosés. So with us getting like all of those like rosé buffs right there, it's helping out this Omega team. But power absorption and GT bosses just are in shambles. I will say though, the one thing I do wish that was out right now that I could have done with this showcase is the super easy A for STR Omega Shenron, Tech Sin Shenron's sub easy A, and then the LR Shadow Dragons, their sub easy A. Like, if we would have been able to have all of those up and active right now, we could have ran a much better like GT bosses team. We could have ran like all 5 of them on the team, and then the 6th unit being the STR Rosé. And I think we would have like a pretty solid team. But unfortunately, those units are not easy-ing for who knows how many days. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's do this. And go ahead and pop his active. Let's get the domain going. And then now that we have Rose on rotation, we got 6 out of 7 links active. The only thing we don't have is Brutal Beatdown, which would have gave us an extra 15% attack. But us having this Rose right here, he's going to be giving us an extra 60%. He's giving us an extra 60% attack stat for this turn. So that paired with the fact that, you know, we still have support up from the entrance animations. This Omega should hit a little decently hard, I think. We're sitting at a little over 1 million defense too, so pretty solid unit, I would say. Yeah, this Rose should be fine. We're not worried about that. Yeah, dude, 57 million. He's at 57 million compared to the first attack stat where he was at like 38 million. And that's just from the double Omega support buff right now. Yeah, Omega is definitely him as the support unit. This guy is very good. 78 million. Okay. You know what? If my support units are doing 78, 80 million damage, I'm happy with that. I don't, you know, into a 50 million attack stat, and then he could probably super again for another 50 million. I am not, dude, 63 million out of a free-to-play unit? Yeah, come on, man. You can't say that this Omega is bad. The support he gives is literally just way too insane. This guy's good. This guy is very good. I'm a huge fan of him. I feel like I've done 5 attacks. I'm not 100% positive, but I feel like I've done 5 attacks where he's going to get the extra 2 key extreme class allies, get 2 key and 20% chance to crit. And then he's going to be now a double rainbow orb changer. Yeah, I mean, I will say this could be a very fun team. If there was just a little bit more help, you know, you drop a really good, you drop like a really good, like grade 8 baby, super baby 2, a baby DOKKANFEST. You drop something like that can help this team out even more, even better. Drop like a transforming Sin Shenron into Omega that can link very well with them. That'd be very good too. Like the possibilities are endless, but they just need to actually do it is the problem. They seem to have this problem of not wanting to release like GT units and GT bosses units. Hell, give us like a Super 17 that could be good for this team. You know, like any of those units. Like, yeah, this guy's not taking any damage. He's literally a brick wall. Yeah, and like obviously the domain is gone, but then we can pop a second domain because this is basically the same thing that you can do as like with running like double slug or something like that, where you can just kind of keep the domains going one after another. Okay, so we just finished that portion of the fight right there. And then, yeah, I mean, you know, whatever happens here, yeah, there's the double rainbow orb changing that he does. Let's just put you right here. Just drop your active skill. Do a bunch of damage. So, like, Rose himself just got a massive buff. He's getting support from Omega. I mean, yeah, is the attack. I will say the attack buff is gone, which is a little unfortunate, but you know, it's only for 4 turns, so you gotta kind of have to get it while you can. But still, like, I mean, this guy's still dropping a 60 million attack stat because of the domain that we've got going on. He's getting 140% extra defense because of the double Omega Rainbow Orb picking up. It's, yeah. Omega is definitely... Omega is the key needed for Extreme Class. This is a unit I can get behind. I love support units who have a bunch of utility, and this guy has a bunch of utility. Yeah, like, I mean, they literally, like, this was us like messing around also, by the way, in like that, you know, that first part of that stage where we were literally just attacking Zamasu. We were doing all that. We're not stacking attack, we're not stacking defense or anything, and still managed to clear this with like relatively no difficulty at all, just showcasing a unit. So yeah, I would say Omega is definitely a very good unit, and I'm curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on that Omega. So let me know down in the comments below what your guys' thoughts are on on the Rainbow LR Omega Shenron. And if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys hit that like button. And if you guys are new here, consider hitting that subscribe as well. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
Brother Russia, the whale of whales, rainbow everything, buying all the sales. In Dokkan battle, I reign supreme. 10K stones, it's not a dream.